Hi, this is Tyler Woods, and you're listening to KMKRLP 99.9 FM, Tucson, and the show is called Music Matters. And so I'm excited to be here because I don't know if anyone listened to the show last week, but on one of my tracks I featured Eric Schaffer and his Troublemakers, and in the studio today is Eric Schaffer.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. And you are fresh from Montreal.
Yes, I was just in Montreal for a few days. Got out of the heat a little bit, and but it's always nice to come back.
Did you play any music up there?
Yeah, I played one time up there, and so haven't played Canada before. But
And you played Canada?
well, Montreal, Canada.
Oh, yeah, duh. And I was in Canada maybe about 15 years ago. I was thinking of moving there.
It's a nice place.
Too cold for me. I was born and raised here in Tucson, so it's
okay.
like, and I went in the summer and I had to get a sweatshirt, so
Oh, I was wearing my Tucson winter jacket.
Oh,
while I was there. Yeah.
Well, what does that tell you? So we can say that you're international.
International, and I actually even played in China.
You've played in China.
I played in
Oh
China,
my
in
gosh, what
the
a
city
thrill.
of Ningbo, China, and so that would make me intercontinental, like a missile.
Like a missile. Oh my goodness! And so we'll have to give you a nickname called Missile Schaffer, or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But so you have a band,
I do.
and it's called
The Other Troublemakers.
The Other Troublemakers.
Yes, so we are billed as Eric Schaffer and the Other Troublemakers, and Bruce Halper is our drummer, and most people involved in music in Tucson know Bruce one way or another. Lauren Dirks, who's a fabulous, fabulous lead guitar player. Most folks know him as well. Raphael Carruthers plays bass with us. And then we sometimes have a fifth other troublemaker. Remember there was the fifth Beatle,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Remember him.
We have a fifth other troublemaker, Dale Clark, will come in sometimes and play fiddle and mandolin and guitar with us. And week before, did a show where Alvin Blaine came in and sat in with us, and
see, I
that's
love
always
Alvin Blaine. I can't wait to get to know him,
to
meet him, and get him on the show.
He's an unbelievable musician. He's all over both of my CDs, and a genuinely fine human. So you should have him here.
I should, and I got to tell you, maybe I don't know if you've noticed this or not, but I think Tucson, and maybe I'm prejudiced because I was born here, but I think our musicians here are incredible and incredibly kind and giving and loving and helpful.
I would agree. There's some folks I know who split time here. They play here and they play in other places, and kind of do the snowbird thing. And they always remark about how cooperative people tend to be here, as opposed to some other places where it's kind of cutthroat.
Well, and I think that's why Tucson, I don't know, maybe you didn't know this, but maybe you do know this, that Tucson has come in, I think, number 5 or number 7 in the nation of being the best place for local music.
It doesn't surprise me in the least.
Yeah, and so people are coming here to do music,
Yeah,
and that's just incredible to me.
Yeah, I think you have, to me, there's something about the desert and there's something about the place that brings that out. And decades before I moved here, Tucson, Arizona had this sort of mystique to me. You'd hear it, it's mentioned in a Dan Fogelberg song, just in passing, and it just to me always seemed like this mystical place. And when I finally came out here for the first time, it took a total of 3 months between when I first set foot in Tucson just to visit, and I started making plans to move here.
See, yeah, that's great. I'm so glad that you moved here.
Well, thank you.
But where did you move from, and how long have you been in Tucson?
It'll be 12 years we're here. It'll be in August.
Wow.
Yes.
And I feel like I've listened to you, all my life, and and it's only been 12 years, so that's interesting.
Yeah. I was born in New York City, in Brooklyn, New York, and grew up in New Jersey. We raised
Jersey.
Do
it. Is that pretty good?
You're getting there. We can work on that.
Okay.
Grew up in Jersey. We raised our kids in Connecticut, and then 2007, just picked up and moved out here.
How many kids do you have?
4.
I hear you've are one of those people that have this long, loving marriage.
Yes, yes, my wife is a very lucky woman. No, no, I've been blessed. We have been married. We just actually had our 39th anniversary last week.
That's just heartwarming.
And
So
we've been together, I think, 43 years altogether. We were teenagers.
good for you because, working in music can be so taxing on relationship. And I just don't, my partner plays in a band with me, so I just make it easy. It's like, I always find partners that are musicians.
Yeah.
And so,
I don't know that I could play in a band with her.
Really?
Part of it is that she loves music. She's not a musically inclined person. She writes a lot of the lyrics to the songs with me.
oh, that's nice. to
Yeah,
know.
it's something we started doing a few years ago, and
So she's involved somewhat.
oh yeah, she's absolutely
What's her
involved.
name?
Her name's Carol.
Carol Schaffer?
Yes.
And she does your songwriting.
Yes,
Some of the songs.
she's wonderful with words, and on a lot of songs we collaborate that way.
All right, well, here's something I'm wondering. Let's hear one of your songs.
Okay.
Okay, and let's let people get to hear who we're interviewing.
Okay.
What song do you want to do first? What are we going to
Let's
listen
see.
to?
Let's do Beer Tastes Better in Mexico.
Does it?
Yes.
And why did you write that song?
We had gone down there, Carol and I and a couple of guys who were in the band at the time, went down there to write songs. So I rented this house on the beach just a little south of Rocky Point, and I'm not usually a big beer drinker, but you're in Mexico, you drink beer, and one morning we were having our breakfast beer. That's what we did.
Okay.
And I just kind of turned around to one of the guys and said, the beer tastes better in Mexico.
And that
I
was
like,
it.
oh, there's a song.
That's it.
And so we wrote it right there that night.
There you go. Okay, so this is Eric Schaffer and his Troublemakers. Beer tastes better in Mexico.
I was living my life in black and white, grinding away at the 9 to 5, working a job I couldn't take, trying to make amends I couldn't make. Enough, pack up, let's go. The sun shines brighter south of the border, and the moonlight dances over the water. I just gotta go down to Mexico. Mexico, beer tastes better in Mexico. I probably should leave, but I don't wanna go. Beer tastes better in Mexico. I'm in a little cantina on the road to San Ramon. Got a seat in the corner of the bar, all alone. Courtyard wrapped in bougainvillea, 42 kinds of fine tequila. Breathe in, breathe out, go with the flow. The sun shines brighter south of the border, and the moonlight dances over the water. I just gotta go down to Mexico. Mexico, beer tastes better in Mexico. I probably should leave, but I don't wanna go. Beer tastes better in Mexico. I'll go home mañana, that's what I say. Yeah, maybe tomorrow, but just not today. Oh, Mexico. I probably should leave, but I don't wanna go. Beer tastes better in Mexico. I thought you'd like to know. I'll be drinking beer down in Mexico.
Oh, that was really fun. Did you
Yeah.
have fun writing that?
We had a blast
I
writing
can't
that.
imagine. I really like that song. I think I've heard you. I heard you play. I've heard you play several times, and each time I think I've heard that song. So
Yeah, it's a
popular
It's
one.
become a crowd favorite.
A crowd favorite.
Yes,
Okay, did you play music in Jersey and in New York and Connecticut?
I did. Well, not in New York because I was a toddler, but and I started playing very young when I was in Jersey and just playing the folk music that my parents were listening to, and I remember I was in 5th grade and they were going to have this 5th grade concert, and they were doing Simon and Garfunkel songs.
Oh,
So I volunteered to play guitar to accompany them. And I went home and I was very excited. I told my folks, and my dad says, "But you don't know how to play." So I figured it out.
okay.
And that was sort of the beginning of the end for me. But yeah, I played through high school, and I went to engineering school, and after a year they invited me not to come back. And
Oh, that's funny.
set about doing music and performed for a while, and then I did front of house sound for a number of years, and I was road managing. I was doing all sorts of things that were peripheral to music, and then we got married and started raising a family, and I was almost completely out of it for quite a while.
Yeah, raising your children.
Yeah, that kept us busy. And then when we moved out here, one of the things, when you move to someplace new, someplace so far away and that's so different, you kind of get this opportunity to reinvent yourself.
Sure.
And one of the things I wanted to do is I wanted to go back to being a musician.
Mm-hmm.
And some people gave me some opportunities here, and haven't looked back.
Great. Now, you played music in Connecticut, right?
Yes.
And you've played music in Tucson.
Yes.
Tell me what you think differs with all that.
There's just something about the music scene in Tucson that has this different level of art to it, and I just love it. Just love
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Most people say that they like the venues. Like,
Yeah.
I know that you play a lot in Monterey Court.
Yes, we've been regulars there for, I think it's got to be 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah,
every third Wednesday of the month.
Okay, so I will stop for a second and say every third Wednesday of the month, you can catch Eric Schaffer and his Troublemakers at Monterey Court. What time?
6:30 to 9:30.
6:30 to 9:30, and is that a free show?
It's a free show, and it's Eric Schaffer and the other Troublemakers.
Eric Schaffer and the other Troublemakers. So that's my bad, and I fixed it. Thank you, Eric.
Yeah.
I'll have to keep that in mind because Wednesday's a great night to.
It is, and Greg over there has been great to us. He's gave us
awesome.
our first regular gig. We've had that for about 5 years running now, and every once in a while we'll play on a weekend too.
You know, I've been in 3 or 4 bands, and Greg has given each one of those bands the opportunity to be heard.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about Tucson music, is a lot of the business owners really are willing to give unheard musicians a good chance to be heard. And then once they like them,
Yeah,
but some places just don't give any, and if you're not established, they don't want you.
yeah,
So I'm really grateful for Monterey Court for being so into that. So
indeed.
we'll make sure people get to come and see you. Speaking of coming and see you, let's catch you on another song, can we?
Sure.
Which one would you like?
Let's do Genevieve.
Tell me about that. I love that title. Reminds me kind of Crosby, Stills, and Nashish, you know?
Yes, that was
Guinevere.
Guinevere, right. We were up in Seattle, my wife and I, and staying up there. We were up there for about a month, and it was over the winter, and we were living in my brother-in-law's RV, and just it becomes
Can't imagine.
yeah. So I spent hours upon hours just sitting in there with my guitar and just kind of keeping myself busy. And there were some people I knew who were in these relationships that were sort of disintegrating slowly. Nothing was explosive, but they were kind of falling apart a day at a time. And got to thinking about that, and that song came out.
Great. So this is called, what is this called?
Genevieve.
So this is Eric Schaffer, Genevieve.
Less we have to say. Like every day is Monday morning, empty like a Monday morning. I hold my tongue, keep the dogs at bay, but all we do is bark and bite. I might have had a bit too much last night, lost my head. Said some things that shouldn't have been said. Now we both agree I should pack my bags and leave. Goodbye, good luck, Godspeed, Genevieve. Empty bottle lying on the floor, our picture hanging on the wall from that boat under Niagara Falls. Morning light peeks out under the door. You alone in black and white, me, I'm in the corner asking why even fight? Everything's so simple when you're right. Now we both agree I should pack my bags and leave. Goodbye, good luck, Godspeed, Genevieve. Remember when I took your hand, I swore I'd never leave. I knew then, I know now, I can't help but love you, Genevieve, oh Genevieve. Like a moth into the flame, I'm drawn and burned again. Goodbye, good luck, Godspeed, Genevieve. The more we talk, the less we have to say. Like every day is Monday morning, empty like a Monday morning.
That's nice. I like it when songs tell a real story. And I think that's something that singer-songwriters have a real advantage of, is oftentimes we can tell part of our stories through music.
Yes.
So tell me what you enjoy the most about being a songwriter.
I think sometimes just things come into your head that you want to share, and also I try at least to write things that are either just out and out fun, which that one wasn't, but things that are out and out fun, or things that will strike some kind of emotional chord with people. And one of the things I find most rewarding is, people, if somebody says, "Oh, I heard this song, I love it, it reminded me of this time in my life," it feels good. And when you're performing live, which I do enjoy, and you can see, when you look out and you can see that you're connecting with people, it's a wonderful thing.
Yeah. And I think, speaking as a psychotherapist, and we try to add a little bit of a mental health touch to this show, is I think it's the greatest thing when a musician can express their emotions through music. Like I know I spent a lot of my times as a kid, because I was born deaf, and I was kind of thrown into a hearing world at the age of 7. And so it was kind of weird. And so I started writing very young, and I was able to get those emotions out of what it was like to have a world of sound again. And it's always been interesting. But I try to get clients or anybody to either write poems or music or do something to get emotions out. Do you feel that writing for you helps you with any kind of emotional stress or?
Absolutely. And sometimes, the next song we're going to play, I'll lead into it.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Goes there. So with social media, one of the things that I've been able to do is reconnect with a lot of people from earlier in my life that you just lose track of, people you go to grade school with or high school with. And one of the people I reconnected with was my first high school girlfriend.
Oh,
and
nice.
So we stayed in touch and send a message on a birthday, that kind of thing. And then I got a call from a mutual friend of ours that she had died of cancer.
Okay.
And the problem with social media or reconnecting with people like that is, in your mind, you see them as 16 years old. Because that's the last time you saw them, and you don't see them as being 60 years old and sick.
Right.
And so it was very difficult. And basically, what I did is I sat up that night and drank myself into somewhere close to oblivion. And this song came out of that.
So it's a way, and I find this too, it's a way to work through grief.
Yeah,
sometimes.
Absolutely.
And I think songwriters need to hear that. And if not, then people who just listen to singer-songwriters have to realize that most of the things we write comes from somewhere.
Yeah.
We just don't, say these words came to us and blow 'em. I'd say most of our songs have some kind of emotional meaning, even if it's drinking beer in Mexico.
Right. And even if you're not relating a specific true thing or a complete story, there's a little piece, there's that little germ in there that it comes out of.
Exactly. I had this friend, and she kept breaking up with her boyfriend.
Yeah.
She would talk to me, and the next day she'd say, "Well, we've broken up." And the next day she'd call and say, "We're back together." And the next day it's like, "Oh my God, we broke up." And it really was literally. And I wanted to strangle her. I didn't. Thank you. I don't need to be in jail currently, but I wrote a song called "Come Here, Go Away." Because it was the best thing I can do, because I really wanted to tell her something. And then I performed it where she could hear it. And she said, "Is that about me?" And I was like, "What?
What makes you say that?"
And I love that when you're up on stage and someone goes, "Did you write that about me?" And it's like, "Oh, don't flatter yourself." And I have a song that's called "Don't Flatter Yourself." So tell me what the name of this song is.
This is called "Whiskey Lay Me Down Tonight." This isn't on any of our CDs. It's a very new song, so I just sat in my little studio and stuck a mic in front of my guitar and a mic in front of my
I love those kind of songs where
face.
it's just unplugged
It's
and
just
raw.
That's exactly what it is.
And I bet you were feeling raw.
Absolutely.
So this will be coming out on a new album, I hope?
Yes, we're compiling material for that now.
Okay. So this will be Whiskey Laid Down Tonight, Eric Schaffer.
There's a boat out on the water. She rises and falls with the tide. I'm no more her captain than the whims of the winds that she rides. Now I'm staring at old photographs. Throw a match in an empty glass, and I pray for strength and understanding, that tomorrow I will rise, go down slow, my only true companion. Whiskey, lay me down tonight. Whiskey, lay me down tonight. Said goodbye to my lover, lost on the road to Salt Lake. Goodbye, sisters and brothers, on separate paths the waves still break. Angels with broken wings still need to fly, need to sing songs of hope, strength and understanding, that tomorrow I will rise, I'll go down slow, my only true companion. Whiskey, lay me down tonight. Whiskey, lay me down tonight. I did not dance on the mountain, I will not cry in the canyon. What do you do when you can't get back? But take your blessings, knowing that strength and understanding will tomorrow make me rise. But right now, my only true companion, whiskey, lay me down tonight. Whiskey, lay me down tonight.
Wow, Eric, that was great. Thank you so much for using your guitar and voice as your heartbeat, basically.
Thank you.
Thank you. So So tell me what's in store for the future for you. What we're going to see more of, what we're going to see less of. Are we going to see another album? And what's going on?
Well, we've had some personnel changes in the band, and so we finally got it
down?
stable.
Okay.
Yes. Well, stable may not be the right word. We have a fixed lineup, and so now that we've got that all resolved, we'll be booking some more. Right now we're playing 2 to 3, maybe 4 times a month. I like to get it around 6 or 8.
Okay.
I'd like to get out and play on the road a bit. We may be doing a show in Dallas next month. But yeah, we're putting together material for a new album, and going to continue to be out doing shows and continuing to write. And Carol's continuing to write with me.
Good.
And we may work some of Lauren's songs into the set.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
because he's quite a prolific writer, and it's all good.
So if somebody wants to hear you, you have social media?
Yes, you can find us. We're on Facebook, just The Other Troublemakers. You can go to www.theothertroublemakers.com, and we're on Apple Music and iTunes and Spotify and all those streaming services as well.
Good, good. So, Eric, I appreciate you coming out of your way, coming down here. Tucson, Eric is Schaffer is what I would call, really basically he's been here for 12 years and it's becoming a music icon here in Tucson. People always say, have you ever heard of blah, 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 Eric Schaffer? And it's wonderful to hear that.
Well, thank you.
People, it's nice to know. One thing I noticed is there's nothing better than sitting on a stage and watching the audience sing your song as
Yes,
you're playing.
Absolutely true.
That is gold, and you have that status, so
Thank you.
welcome. I'm going to ask you to, before you leave, you're going to give me a couple songs that was inspiration to you as you were becoming a musician, and we'll give a small set done by Eric Schaffer after this. But what are we going to leave with?
This is a song from the newer CD. It's called Even Now, and you asked me earlier, and I talked about having been together with Carol for 43 years, and it's been a wonderful ride. And I woke up one morning, I was kind of half awake and half asleep, and just had this lyric in my head that said, "Even now, you still amaze me." And I just walked into my little studio and I started playing the music that I kind of heard in my head to those words, and had this song that was half finished. And a couple months later, I was out on tour, and we were up in Saratoga, Wyoming, which is a beautiful, beautiful place in the mountains with hot springs, and we're staying in this cabin, and it just seemed like a really good time to finish the song. So even though I wrote it for Carol, she did help me finish it, but with just a couple little vignettes from our life, and it really is one of my favorites.
Oh, good. I can't wait. Eric, thank you for being our guest.
Thank you.
And I hope that, who knows, we may have you back in here again when you're coming out with your 7th album. You
There we
just
go.
never know. And y'all just keep listening to this man. Him and his band are wonderful. And we're going to leave you with Even Now. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you, Tyler.
The night is still, the sky is dark. I'm watching you, watching for shooting stars. You touch my hand, whisper my name, and here we are. Even now, still amaze me. My head's exploding, turn me inside out. Even now, you mystify me, mesmerize me somehow. Even now. Sat on a rooftop in the rain, counting the boats on Mission Bay. I kissed a drop of mist away, asked you to stay. And now you still amaze me. My head's exploding, turn me inside out. Even now you mystify me, mesmerize me somehow. Every passing glance, every passing year, every touch as you walk by, every moonlight dance, every hidden tear, every kiss, a reason why. Even now, even now, you still amaze me. My head's exploding, turn me inside out. Even now, you mystify me, mesmerize me somehow. Even now, even now, even now, even now, even now, even now.